From JBS Studios in Greater New York, this is the JBS News Update with Teisha Bader.
I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Thursday, October the 23rd, 2025. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio arrived in Israel tonight to support the successful implementation, the State Department wrote, of President Trump's comprehensive plan to end the conflict in Gaza. The State Department added during his visit, the Secretary will reaffirm America's unwavering commitment to Israel's security and engage with partners to build on the historic momentum towards durable peace and integration in the Middle East. Rubio will be in Israel through Saturday. The visit of the Secretary of State follows that of U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance, who departed Israel today after holding meetings, including today at Israel's Defense Ministry headquarters in Tel Aviv, also making stops in Jerusalem's Old City, including at the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. Released Israeli hostage Matan Angrest arrived back at his home today after several days spent at Kfar HaMaccabiyah with his family, following his discharge from the hospital earlier this week. During that time, Angrest attended the funeral of his commander, Daniel Perez, whose remains were returned last week. Supporters greeted the Angrest family today at their home and along their route home, waving Israeli flags, singing and sharing their joy and relief at his return home. The remains of 13 hostages are still being held by terror group Hamas in Gaza. The International Court of Justice issued an advisory opinion yesterday stating that Israel is legally obligated to allow UNRWA, the United Nations Relief and Works Agency, to provide humanitarian aid in Gaza, and rejected Israel's assertion that UNRWA has been infiltrated by Hamas. The ICJ stated there was no evidence of such. Israel's Foreign Minister Gideon Sa'ar rejected the advisory opinion, saying today, "This isn't a court of justice, it's a corrupt political circus exploited by Israel's enemies as a weapon against it." Jewish organizations here in the U.S. weighed in, including B'nai B'rith International, who noted that UNRWA members took part in the October 7th massacre, and that UNRWA has spread, it wrote, for decades, hatred against Israel and Jews in its schools. 850 rabbis and cantors from across the United States signed onto a letter this week voicing concerns regarding New York City mayoral candidate Zoran Mamdani, writing, "We cannot remain silent in the face of rising anti-Zionism and its political normalization throughout our nation." They cited Mamdani's refusal to condemn violent slogans, referring there to the phrase globalize the Intifada. They wrote, denying Israel's legitimacy and accusing the Jewish state of genocide. Words they wrote, citing New York Board of Rabbis President Rabbi Amiel Hirsch, that delegitimize the Jewish community and encourage and exacerbate hostility toward Judaism and Jews. Calling on all Americans, it wrote, who value peace and equality to participate fully in the democratic process in order to stand up for candidates who reject anti-Semitic and anti-Zionist rhetoric and who affirm Israel's right to exist in peace and security. Taking a look now at our programming for tonight on JBS for Thursday, October the 23rd. At 7 o'clock, Chabad of Palm Beach Gardens hosts a ceremony marking 2 years since the October 7th massacre. At 8, Jonah Platt speaks to Sarah Hurwtiz on being Jewish with Jonah Platt. At 9, Cantor Joseph Malovany is on L'chaim. Then a replay of the October 7th ceremony. And coming up next, it's David Harris on Defending Israel with Ofir Akunis. And that's the JBS News Update for Thursday, October the 23rd, 2025. I'm Teisha Bader. Am Yisrael Chai.